Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about managing resistance to change. If you've ever implemented a project, you're responsible for leading and managing change in your organization or for your team. If you're a change manager, project manager, business analyst, or a similar type of role, just responsible for leading and managing change, then you would have come across some form of resistance where people are pushing back or people don't want to implement the change. Why? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 simple steps today on what you can do to help you manage resistance to change. There's so many strategies out there, so many models that you can look at in terms of how to manage resistance to change. I have a free downloadable guide actually on my website where I go into more detail on managing resistance to change, or as part of my online change leadership course where I go into detail 8 strategies on how to manage resistance to change. But today, what 2 simple steps can you start to take immediately to help you manage resistance to change? Number 1, start with yourself. Know yourself. One of the things when it comes to leading or managing change is that we all have different approaches. We all have different personalities in terms of how we can approach leading and managing change. I actually got my students the other day to take a quiz on the head, heart, and hand model, which shows what is their change approach or style when it comes to leading and managing change. And it was interesting to see how some of them had aha moments. Oh, I thought it was this. Oh, I thought it was something else. But what it did for them was help them start to see how their approach changed. Are they very logic driven? Are they heart driven or people focused? Are they more process driven when it comes to leading and managing change? By having an understanding of the type of person you are or your approach to change, it helps you start to look at what areas you need to focus on in adapting your style when it comes to leading and managing change. And what it also brings an awareness of to you is that other people have a different personality or approach when it comes to how they receive change. Some people like all the details when it comes to leading change. They're more process driven, or they like more details when it comes to how they approach or accept change. Some people are very people focused. They're like, how is it going to affect people? How is it going to affect me? They're more emotions driven. And some people are just more logic driven. They're like, what's the strategy? How are we going to make this happen? So the way you respond to them is different as well. So leading change starts with knowing yourself, and managing resistance to change starts with you. When you've been through that process of really understanding the lens through which you're looking at the change and which you're driving it, then understanding that people receive change in a different way, it helps you adapt your style to managing the change as well as managing any resistance that may come your way. The second step that I really want you to focus on is people and empathy. Change is a very emotional journey. If you go through something like the change curve, the Kubler-Ross change curve, it shows you how people go through a journey in coming to acceptance with change. How they're going from shock, they go into denial, they go into depression, they go into acceptance, they go into integration, and they excel. And some people never go through that change curve. Some people just go all the way like this, where they never accept the change. And some people just run away from the change. There are different ways in which people approach change. It's a very emotional journey. So that's one thing you have to also have an understanding of when it comes to working with people to manage resistance to change. You have to have empathy to put yourself in their shoes, to see where they're coming from, to look at things from their perspective, how they may be perceiving the change, whether there's a fear in the change, whether there's a loss, a sense of loss they're feeling about the change. When you start to understand how people are approaching the change, then you take on top of that how you are approaching the change, and you marry those things together, then you can start to see, how can I better manage this resistance? So if you know that people are scared about the change, you start to tailor your communication to help take that fear away and calm them down in not feeling scared about the change. If they feel that they're going to be losing something out of the change, and maybe they're not even losing anything out of the change, but just how they're feeling, knowing that, you start to help them through that journey. Or maybe they're scared, will I be able to use this new technology? Will I be able to walk in this new world, the future of work, with all of this AI or robotics? Will my job go away? Those are the things that you can start to say, this is how we're going to train you in order to be able to more effectively adopt this change. And then they begin to calm down. So we really need to know that sometimes pushback on change is not because people are feeling difficult. Sometimes it's just simply because of the unknown. They're not clear what it is. Their styles in which they receive information is very different. You might be the person, you hear one thing and you immediately run with it. They might be the kind of person where they need to take time to assimilate what they're hearing. They need more information. And then you tailor your style to help them on their journey to the change. Or you might be the person that you need a lot of information to run with the change, but they just need quick information, the facts, to run with the change. And they may get distracted because you're taking so much time to get to the nitty-gritty and the facts about the change. Then you tailor your style. So the key thing when it comes to leading change and managing resistance to change is starting with yourself. Know yourself, know your change style. I have a quiz down below. You can go check it out. Know yourself, and once you know yourself, have empathy. Take the time to understand your stakeholders and apply empathy. And that way you can come up with a strategy on how you can lead and manage the change more effectively and manage resistance to change. I hope this quick video has been very helpful. If you have any questions, just send them to me and I might just do a video for you. Until next time, bye.